That night, violence started. We were here Tuesday, and we went in front of that old courthouse with Big Mike and the mother, and they had to break their mourning to ask folks to stop looting and rioting. Can you imagine their heartbreak? Their son, taken, discarded, and marginalized, and they had to stop mourning to get you to control your anger, like you're more angry than they are? Like you don't understand that Michael Brown does not want to be remembered for a riot. He wants to be remembered as the one that made Americans deal with how we're going to police in the United States. Al Sharpton. On August 9, 2014, in Ferguson, Missouri, an 18-year-old African-American male by the name of Michael Brown was fatally shot by a Ferguson police officer, Darren Wilson. According to the police report, there was video surveillance showing Michael Brown and his friend Dorian Johnson getting into an altercation with the convenience store employee after Michael Brown allegedly stole cigars from the store. Michael Brown's friend Dorian Johnson stated that they were walking towards Johnson's home when a police officer shouted, "Get the F on the sidewalk." Michael Brown and his friend continued on walking, and a confrontation occurred between Darren Wilson and Michael Brown at the officer's car window. After a bit of a struggle, Wilson opened fire on Brown. As Brown and Johnson tried to run away, the officer shot Brown in the back and shot several more times after that. Dorian Johnson stated that at no point throughout the whole encounter did Michael Brown try to reach for Wilson's gun. An eyewitness, Tiffany Mitchell, stated that Michael Brown was seen trying to get away from the police officer who attempted to pull him into the car when the shot was fired. There was a lot of bias on social media due to the fact that shortly after news broke out of the shooting of Michael Brown, a picture was being circulated online of Michael Brown with a red tank top, serious face, and throwing up two fingers. Many social media users believe the picture was posted to show Brown in a more intimidating light and justify the use of lethal force on him during the shooting. Using the hashtag #IfTheyGunnedMeDown, social media users took side-by-side photos of them in either army uniforms, attending graduations, or even at weddings, in contrast to a serious photo of themselves, with alcohol or throwing up the middle finger. With these photos, they asked what photo the media would use if they were in a similar situation. One analysis of states with stand your ground laws found cases with a white perpetrator and a black victim are 281% more likely to be ruled justified than cases with a white perpetrator and a white victim. Fox News avoided media bias when presenting the verdict of Darren Wilson's indictment. They referred to the situation as the Michael Brown case or the Ferguson case. They refrained from emphasizing the race and authority issue, unlike CNN News. Unlike Fox News, when the verdict of Darren Wilson's indictment was confirmed, CNN emphasized that the white officer who killed an unarmed black teen would not receive an indictment. I believe CNN's headlines fueled viewers at home and those in Ferguson. The headline encouraged the outrage and rioting by portraying the case as a racially charged one. I believe, as a media outlet, CNN must find a way to present the facts of the case without inputting their bias, because the viewers at home are heavily influenced by the news reports they watch and hear. According to Journalist Resource, surveys in recent years with minority groups, Latinos, and African Americans in particular, suggest that confidence in law enforcement is relatively low, and large portions of these communities believe police are likely to use excessive force on suspects. In a study conducted by Pew Research Center in August 2014, Americans of all races collectively give relatively low marks to police departments around the country for holding officers accountable for misconduct, using the appropriate amount of force, and treating racial and ethnic groups equally. Back in 2002, the Justice Department found that there were 26,556 citizen complaints lodged against police departments. And in 2011, about 62.9 million people had contact with the police. According to a research done by the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, research found that black boys can be seen as responsible for their actions at an age when white boys still benefit from the assumption that children are essentially innocent. In one experiment, students were shown photographs alongside descriptions of various crimes and asked to determine the age and innocence of white, black, or Latino boys ages 10 to 17. The students overestimated the age of blacks by an age of 4.5 years and found them more culpable than whites or Latinos, particularly when the boys were matched with serious crimes. In another experiment, which involved 264 mostly white female undergraduate students from a large public university, students rated the innocence of people ranging from infants to 25-year-olds who were black, white, or an unidentified race. The students judged children up to 9 years old as equally innocent regardless of race, but considered black children significantly less innocent than other children in every other age group beginning at age 10. According to co-author Matthew Jackson, with the average age overestimation for black boys exceeding 4.5 years, in some cases black children may be viewed as adults when they are just 13 years old. I believe this says a lot about people who are working in law enforcement, if they view young children as young as 13 years old as threats just because of their race. Based off 3 video experiments of shoot-no-shoot decision scenarios with police officers, college students, and community members, researchers from the University of Colorado at Boulder, the University of Chicago, and the University of Denver came to the conclusion that training and experience is effective in minimizing decisions based on stereotyped views. In one experiment, 33 officers were compared with 52 community members in shoot-don't-shoot tasks with a restrictive time frame. Compared to the community members, police officers were able to discriminate armed from unarmed targets and were less likely to shoot an unarmed target or to be influenced by the target's race. In a second experiment, participants were instructed to respond to armed targets with a shoot response and to unarmed targets with a don't shoot response as quickly as possible. In this experiment, the officers outperformed the community members. The third experiment involved 58 college students participating in a video simulation of shoot-don't-shoot tasks. The experiment took place over 2 days, which allowed participants to repeatedly play and improve their performance. Repetitive practice increased the participants' sensitivity to the presence or absence of a weapon and reduced bias in participants' errors significantly. I believe this experiment was beneficial to law enforcement and community members because it helped them decrease their racial bias in shoot-don't-shoot situations. Police departments all over the U.S. should have a similar training in order to decrease police misconduct and officers' racial bias in shooting situations. I believe that there is always going to be media bias, especially in high-profile cases such as this one. News outlets will do their best to present the information in a way that influences the viewer to pick a side. Law enforcement should work on trying to reduce racial bias in shoot-don't-shoot situations and find new ways to decrease the use of a gun on the job. I believe a new law should be passed that requires every single cop and cop car in the U.S. to have a camera that records their daily activities. Having a camera would reduce any speculation with suspects in life-threatening situations and reduce police misconduct of suspects being apprehended. Regardless of this situation, 2 parents lost a son forever, and they will never be able to bring him back. What viewers can do going forward is watch all news outlets, not just their favorite, just to ensure that they are not getting biased information.